Aloha. For today's expression of sharing, I would like to share a poem. And before I begin, I want to give a little background information. Currently in my life, I'm being shunned by over 8 million beautiful people all around the world due to religious differences. And I'm not a religious person. I do not believe that religion and spirituality are one and the same, or hand in hand necessarily. Also, these people, the ones that know me, most of them are not shunning me out of spite, resentment, or even because they want to. They feel that it's their obligation for my own good and their own good, for our salvation. They feel that that's divine direction, that they're following the rules as outlined in the scriptures, the Bible. In this poem, in the first line, first line, I say that I began working full-time at age 13. And age 13 is the year that I made prayerful dedication to Creator and humanity and universe. And I symbolized that through a baptism ceremony. And I also began working full-time literally in the summers off from school. And so my life consisted of homework, housework, schoolwork, shop work, ministry work on the weekends, and even a couple evenings a week we would attend religious services, and we had personal and family studies. And even on vacation time, we would travel to assembled religious intensives. So it really marked the time in my life where I knew that I was not going to be able to sleep in, wake naturally for the rest of my foreseeable future. And that lifestyle in general, as a whole, was leading me toward really poor health and vitality. And I was on quite a few prescription medications. I was snorting my Adderall, and I was on antidepressants and antipsychotics for a decade or more than. And I eventually quit all that, had terrible withdrawals, began utilizing a little bit of Santa Maria ganja medicine, cannabis, and that really helped get me through some of the most difficult times. And I've watched a steady improvement of all my systems in general since then. So, without further ado, here is the poem that I would like to share with you. At age 13, the year when I began working full-time, I prayerfully dedicated the rest of my life to serving the Creator, to attaining and remaining in the truth. And to this day, they hold me responsible to their definition of that commitment, and I hold the title of disfellowshipped. And do you then know that we're going on 8 years? And as I wrote that, I noticed that my writing was looking exactly like my father's. Never do I disrespect the writings of my father, and I'm going to diligently protect the honor of my mother, inciting uprisings of consciousness, and in this moment I finally found my true pen. Do you remember when I tossed a quad of psychiatric prescriptions, and there as I lost a quartet, 25 cents, 100 pounds, baby pounds, this story is old. Oh yes, I have slept in the gutters, oh my, how I have known numbing cold. So here we are now, and where does that leave us? I suppose that I might like to mention that I miss my baby sis, I miss all those friends, and my mom and my dad and my grandma who's dead, and my cousins, and all those aunts and uncles, gnarly scuffed knuckles, tie tacks and ant traps of anthrax, which is a metaphor for a confusing system, slavery stitched into our fine business garments, itch and stiff and rigid in regards this place we are now, the time of this breath. We can explore the metaphor nirvanic, knowing that we know nearly nothing. Relax, Jack, there's nothing that's under control. In fact, that's exactly what will happen if we live on and let go. But I have this conundrum, see, they're alive and they won't even talk to me unless I prove over time that I want to be steeped deeply in their specific religion, which means that I groom ultra-conservative businessmen. So what is this then? Give me a hug. Ugh is what you used to come up and say to me until I couldn't fit within the framework you gave to me. Don't you know that I love you, Pa? I hold none of it against thee, and I still shout hallelujah. living my life as it is sanctity, and I'm thanking he, she, it, the great what is, that which cannot be limited of time, size, or potential, perpetual points of existence. There's this super beautiful church I'm in where the pews are skunks and checkmate with the bishop, where the organ is what I'm saving for the love of a special woman, for the simple act of creation, and these trees are steeples and this forest is the finest choir chorus. Of course, this is why I'm more fit, morphin, Morpheus, Mobius, more mellow than a morphine injection. And may I interject this, I am still Yahweh's witness, except I am speaking from recesses and I'm speaking from experience. And maybe, just maybe, I'll go on speaking in the microphone. All day we can play as we do what brings our hearts on home. You say I could stay if I follow all the same rules mainly unchanged since before there was HBO, Star Wars, or G.I. Joe. Unknowing is half the battle. And all this time we still believe in the same thing. The underlying essence of love is the main thing. And joy and peace and patience, which you relate with long suffering, kindness, mildness, and self-control. Eventual mindfulness and self-knowing. Do you see where this is going? Breath control. Something they barely speak of, where men can be entrusted with feeding the hearts of others, when in some cases their own hearts hurt so much they cannot even lovingly feed their own faces. And they settle for processed feces, and their crevices express more please, morphine, morphing into something more like what their body is eating, constantly calling to God in their pleading, which felt somewhat odd, kind of like perpetual bleeding. But they did their best according to how they see, and so they continue to do until there is no more they and we inside the eyes of those who've looked deep inside their me and lovingly planted a seed, surrounded by volunteers. Soon no more need to go and loosen up over a couple of beers. Soon seeing the essence in everyone, that which we all share. Simultaneously loving and bless it up, this which we all share. So let's love it up right, and it starts with the inside. Care for everything that we find there. Yes, let's love our light bright. It's prime time we shine bright like the divine. With all the new gifts we can pick there. Please show you care. Please dare to share. It lifts what constricts the free flow there. Hallelujah.